Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and give you my opinion on what I think is good and bad in there. What's worth crafting and what's worth running away from faster than a hungry tiger that hasn't eaten for 3 days called Bernard that wears Speedos. But first of all, let's pop into the shop and grab the weekly troop. Always make sure you do this, it's effectively free. 400 glory gets you Limpet Bot. What does he do? Or she do? It do? Thing do? Convert a gem into a bomb gem. Bomb gem! Interesting. Got a new type of gem. And either create 3 more bomb gems or explode all the bomb gems. So, depending upon what bomb gems do, we'll be taking a look at that because it obviously creates some more or explodes them all. So, yeah. Let's take a look at what bomb gems do later on. That's a little video right there. Allied mechs gain 2 life, immune to poison, and reduce damage from skulls by 25% of the traits. Nothing too special about those. Yeah, interesting sounding troop. Always recommend grabbing these up to Mythic if you can, because once you've leveled that to level 20, it gives you another troop at level 20, which is going to, in the end, enhance the power levels on your kingdoms. And whilst you're here, always grab the Spoils of War. Get 10 of those if you can. Free event keys, free gold, some souls, and some treasure maps if you like doing treasure hunt still. Right, and let's jump into the Soulforge itself. Take a look at the weapons first, see what's going on here. Not going to look at the ones that are here all the time, like Trick and Treat, Duskbringer, Soul of Xanathos, Heart of Xanathos, etc. They're in previous Soulforge videos. Just going to look at the ones which are new for this week. The first one up is the Engineer's Drill. Now, I really like this weapon, not just because it explodes a load of brown gems. Think about how handy Mountain Crusher is and the fact that explodes a load of brown gems, but this also gives a random status effect to all mech allies, so works really, really well in a mech team and summons a mech troop as well. It uses green and blue, so it's not going to self-charge itself initially from that brown, but any of that colour that it picks up while exploding those brown will indeed be collected. The thing I like about this is that there are some very, very good mech troops which use brown, so this is a really good way of charging those troops up. I do love the Engineer's Drill. Really, really good weapon. All these ones are here all the time, as in the Cursebreaker ones as well. They're only there because I have the Soulforge to level 20. And now we've got a bunch of other weapons here. Let's take a look at this one. Pistol of Ardana. Remove all the yellow gems with no effect, so a good counter for a enemy that likes yellow. But deal 42 in my case damage to an enemy boosted by those gems removed at a 3-to-1 ratio. If the enemy is from Ardana, deal a double damage. So the enemy does need to be from Ardana to make that more effective. And it's still a fairly low amount of damage, so it is more completist than anything, that weapon. Nice low mana cost of just 9 though. Drill Shooter. It sounds like an interesting weapon, doesn't it? Get a drill that like shoots like that. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by Ardana allies. So the more Ardana allies in your team, the better. Then create a mix of 6 red and yellow gems for each Ardana ally. So another one of these ongoing weapons which are being related to each and every kingdom. Uses green and blue, so cannot self-charge, so you do need to make sure you have at least a couple of allies in your team that use red and yellow and are from Ardana. Mecha Axe. This sounds evil. Very similar to the other one, but this time mech allies, not Ardana allies. And create a mix of red and blue for each mech ally, so a very similar situation to the last one, both fairly decent. Doomed Opus. This is the one to get this week. Deal scatter damage, and it's based on your magic level, +4 per tempering level, then create a mix of 6 red gems and skulls for every red enemy. Give 3 magic to all allies, and if the enemy has a doom, give 5 more. So this is going to be absolutely terrific on Guild Wars Red Day, on your defense, for example. People hate these things, and for good reason. They can be truly devastating if the AI uses it correctly. But against a red team as well, it's just going to be powerful in general. So very good weapon, Doomed Opus, my absolute pick of the week on the weapons from what I've seen so far, unless Fire Sword somehow is absolutely outstanding, which I somehow doubt. Deals damage to the first enemy, then deal triple damage if they use green mana. So the triple damage against green mana sounds like it's going to be okay, but you are always limited to hitting the first enemy. So again, more completist than essential, but not too bad. But Doomed Opus is absolutely the best weapon there for me today. And I do really love the old, where is it, Engineer's Drill. The Engineer's Drill as well, that is absolutely superb. Alright, let's take a look at the troops. Similarly, I'm not going to look at the ones that are here all the time, like Enraged Kurandara, Zulgoth, Xanathos, etc. They're in previous Soulforge videos. I think Hatai Ascendant is one that's here now regularly. But it's a really cool troop anyway. I can't remember if this is here all the time, so I'll just go over it ever so briefly. Creates 6 green gems, then converts all green gems to lycanthropy gems, and summons 1 to 3 winter wolves. Does pair really well with certain other troops, and if they come up I shall explain why. Impervious is decent as well, immune to all status effects, and give 2 magic to all beast allies when my turn begins is pretty decent too. Mambasira, this is one of the ones that's not here all the time. It's good and bad. Deals a low amount to a decent amount of damage to 6 random enemies. The trouble with a troop like this is, when it does the high amount of damage and happens to hit the enemies you actually want it to hit, it can be fairly decent. But if she hits the enemies which are typically on a low amount or deals damage to that lower end of that damage, and then typically leaves several of them on, you know, a very low amount of health when it could have killed them, it can be a bit annoying. So the lack of control over that is high, random enemies, and a random amount of damage. If luck is on your side, then yeah, it's okay, but otherwise extremely random on the amount of damage caused. The Grey King, absolutely fantastic troop, deals destroys all gems of a chosen colour, and all enemies of that colour take a high amount of true damage, and they're also mana drained, silenced, and frozen. So that is really effective, a really good way of controlling the other team, and absolutely love the Grey King. His traits aren't too shabby either, unlike his clothes. All undead allies gain 2 armor and magic when matching 4 or more gems is decent, as well as Undying. That is a fantastic troop. I love him. Aquaticus, she's really good as well. Do like her. Deals light splash damage to 3 random enemies and explode half the blue gems on the board. So the element of causing that splash damage to 3 random enemies can be a little bit random, because if she deals that damage to, say, the troops at the top and bottom of the board, then the splash damage is not going to have nearly as much effect. But it does explode half the blue gems on the board as well, which can generate an absolute ton of mana sometimes. And she does have an absolutely superb 3rd trait. Submerge all allies when matching 4 or more gems means she is the perfect defense against teams like Gob Truffle, Queen Beatrix, those ones that do that true damage when they can repeat again and again. Just get a 4 match with that and all the enemies, or your allies, sorry, are safe. So the Goths here, Xanathos, Guard's avatar is not here all the time. Deals, it looks like a low amount of damage at first to all enemies, but it is boosted by his armor. Then burn undead and silence daemon enemies. The traits are nothing fantastic. Gain 4 armor when an ally casts a spell is the best out of a pretty poor bunch, to be honest. But Guard's avatar can be good because it's boosted by his armor. If you can boost his armor up, he can do absolutely significant amount of damage. Stick the Shield of a Sky in with this guy and boost that armor up, and he can do an absolute ton of damage. I actually really like this troop with Magma Dragon, because that has a lava storm, double storm of red and brown, and that can actually charge him up really quick and do a ton of damage at the same time with the Shield of Askaya. Darksmith Drenza is only here because I have the Soulforge to level 20 as well. I'll go over that later. Now we've got the Mythics. Don't generally recommend crafting Mythics. Much better off saving your diamonds. For those much harder to get Mythic Troops, Legendaries will turn up in chests randomly now and again. So, Despond is here first. I don't call him Desmond because it just reminds me somehow of that awesome TV show from a while back with Desmond and Porky Pie. That was a great show, that was. Love that. Anyway, Desmond. He deals damage to an enemy equal to their attack. Then deal the same damage to all enemies above them. And summoned an Abject of Desmond. it's not Desmond. Stop saying Desmond. Desbond. Let's call him Desbond. Let's use his proper name. Traits. Explode a blue gem at the start of battle. Can be a nifty bit of early mana generation. Impervious. Immune to all status effects. Devour, lycanthropy, and mana burn. And Creeping Gloom. Drain 3 mana from a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. Is not too bad, really. This troop can be used in a really cool way. The fact that it deals damage equal to their attack and then the same damage to all enemies above them is, you know, say you're fighting a team that uses Mang, for example, and they get their attack really high, but you've prepared for this and you've got a troop which switches first place with last place. Then not only does that nullify the benefit of having that Mang on a high level of attack, but now you're going to be dealing that serious damage to all their troops instead, which is really, really cool. So Despond, not Desmond, can be used in a really good way if you're up against the correct team. The Weirstag, absolutely fantastic troop this, if used again with the correct arrangement of other allies. Deals true damage to the first and last enemies, then creates 3 Doom Skulls for each lycanthropy gem on the board. The traits are pretty decent. Lycanthropy, 50% chance to convert a purple gem to a lycanthropy gem at the start of my turn. And Moon Fever, inflict lycanthropy on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. But it's that create 3 Doom Skulls for each lycanthropy gem on the board, which is the powerful part of Weirstag's spell. If we take a look at Hatire Ascendant, this is the perfect partner for the Weirstag, because this creates 6 green gems and then converts all green to lycanthropy gems. So you cast this guy first, get all those green converted to lycanthropy gems, and then you cast the Weirstag, and you create 3 Doom Skulls for each lycanthropy gem. That is going to be insane. I'll probably do a video on that at some point. But yeah, the Weirstag with Hatire Ascendant really, really good. Scroll Reborn, can't remember if that's here all the time, but I'll quickly go over it anyway. Creates 5 yellow gems, then converts all yellow gems to Doom Skulls. So a little bit like the Lord of Slaughter, but on yellow instead of brown. Can be really good when they align. You can see if you're going to get a 4 match sometimes, but you just have to roll with that sometimes and just go with the hope that it does some severe damage. You can leave the enemy set up sometimes, but you do have to be wary of that anyway, but it can be good. Leonis Tower deals damage to the first 2 enemies, stun them, and gains barrier. It also has Stone Skin, reduced damage from skulls by 50%. Invulnerable, one of only 2 troops in the current state of the game that have Invulnerable, which is immune to all status effects, Devour, Mana Drain, Transform, Lycanthropy, and lethal damage. Even Zul'Goth cannot kill this, so that's really good in first place. And Lion's Roar, stun a random enemy when matching yellow gems. But who does my pick of the week go to on who to craft as a mythic? Guard's avatar is good, but not outstanding. Can't possibly give it to Mambasira because she's just far too random in her damage and who it hits. So it's between Aquaticus and the Grey King. And as good as Aquaticus is, because of her 3rd trait and what she does and the mana gen, I have to give it to the Grey King. There he is. Destroy all gems of a chosen colour and all enemies of that colour take a bunch of true damage, and mana drained, silenced, and frozen. So there he is, my pick of the week, the Grey King. If you've got the gems, go craft him. Not gems, diamonds. And absolutely, if you have enough diamonds as well, grab Doomed Opus. It is a fantastic weapon as well. Well, there's my Soulforge review. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you again later. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.